For your greatness. Grow, grow, grow. For your greatness. Innovate, celebrate, activate your greatness. Central Valley GEG. For your greatness. Grow, 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 grow. For your greatness. Innovate, celebrate, activate your greatness.
All right. Welcome everybody to another fantastic monthly episode of Central Valley GEG's kind of Google updates or Google showcases, because Google updates all the time. So we have to showcase what those updates can do. So I'm Joe Marquez. I am an educator here in the Central Valley, and I'm here with some amazing other educators as well. So let's kick it over to Adam. Adam, introduce yourself.
Hey, Adam Was here. I'm the EdTech Integration Coach for Kings Canyon Unified School District right here in Central California.
All right. And Kat, please introduce yourself.
Hey, hope you may be hearing my 4-year-old in the background, but my name's Kat Goyette. I am the Instructional Technology Specialist at Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, working with a great team there. So I'm local as well.
And one of your coworkers just got accepted to the Atlanta cohort for the Google Innovator Academy.
Yes, that's right. Ryan Schoaf is an innovator to be. Very exciting. So we are excited to have her join the team.
And that will be another one of our good friends who is going to that because
You definitely want to talk about Kyle, right?
yes, one of our best friends for all three of us, Kyle Anderson out of Las Vegas, also got accepted. So our innovator family continues to grow.
It does. Maybe we should figure out a way to crash that party, get over there. And, I know they do the mentors and stuff, but we can be like mentor on the side. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's really cool. It's funny, when Kyle got accepted, I went through my email because I'm an email hoarder. I don't think I delete anything. And I found my 2014 acceptance to the Austin, Texas cohort. And I shot that over to him. He's like, whoa, buddy, that's old. I'm like, yes, we are old. I'm glad to see that the innovation is continuing to happen, especially in the Google sphere, but there's so much happening as well. So we're going to talk a lot about the different integrations that Google has, both in Gemini and Notebook LM and beyond. So Adam, let's kick you off. Let's have you go first. I think you went first last time, and I think it was a great start to our episode. So let's go ahead and have you start again. What are you going to share? What kind of greatness are you going to help us grow today?
So I'm going to share actually the meat and potatoes of a blog post that I just authored earlier this week about how, as an instructional coach, how I kind of use Notebook LM to really be an extension of my brain. In my role, I support over 20 schools and then all the district programs in all things EdTech. So I do my best to keep detailed notes of all my interactions with all the educators that I serve and the students that I'm working with. And keeping track of all that's one thing, but what do I do with that information? I got a pretty good memory, but I can't be expected to remember everything. So Notebook LM really helps me reflect on my practice, and then helps me really with the follow-up process. Because with instructional coaching, following up, it's a lot of times out of sight, out of mind. I may have something that I do something with a teacher or a department, and then when I come back a few weeks later, if I don't follow up within like a week, I usually give myself about a week before I follow up. I don't have it all memorized, but I can go back and see very quickly in my notes using Notebook LM who I worked with, what we worked on, and I can send that follow-up email to keep the learning going. So that's what I'm, in a nutshell, what I'm going to show my workflow there that I think can be adapted for any instructional coach, an administrator, or even a teacher.
Or even kids, students taking their notes in Notebook LM, right?
Yep. So let me go ahead and get here with the screen share here. All right. Let's see. It's going. Yep. All right. Let me get over to. All right. So we are in my my main notebook right here. This is the notebook that rules it all. So For those of you who aren't familiar with Notebook LM, let me give you a brief tour of the kind of 3-column structure of Notebook LM. The first column here on the left is where you have all your sources. Now, it can be any combination of sources. I'm on a pro account, so I can put up to 300 sources in one notebook. If you're not on a pro account, you can do, I believe it's up to 50 last time I checked, but that's pretty much more than enough. I don't think I have anything more than like 30. So that's keep it at that. So it can be any combination of files in your drive, files you upload from your computer, websites that you pick and choose and curate. It can be audio files or video files that you upload. So it's pretty much anything that you can get access to, you can turn into a source here on the side here. So if we look here at my sources, I have all these different notes documents for all those different schools and programs that I support. These are just like journals. And every day that I meet with a school like let's say Dunlap Elementary, I'll put the date, is who I met with, and is what we talked about, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the structure of these notes. And they're always updated here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the one I just finished working on today, which was Nave Valencia Middle School, and I'm wearing their shirt today. So here's the thing. After I update it, there's this button right here. It says click to sync with Drive. So these notes all live in my Google Drive. Okay, they don't live in Notebook. I have them saved in Drive, but I don't have to go looking through Drive to find them now. They're all in my notebook. Now, after I have it open and I've updated the notes for that day that I'm there, I click right here, sync, and now Notebook LM in a second is going to be working with the most updated version of this Google Doc. So that's the first part of the workflow. Now, what we see here is a sample that I've done here is I asked it to recap. So again, the other day, usually on Wednesdays is when I remind myself to do this. I have usually a week after I've been working at some schools, I'll send my recap emails to those teachers or departments. So I asked it for a recap of the teachers that I met with from April 20th to 24th. That would have been last week. And then what it did, it shows me who I met with at the district office, who I met with at the Reedley High School, and then at one of our elementary schools. So now what I do, now that I have a glance of who I met with last week, I can now send my follow-up emails to those individuals or groups. So for example, here, we'll take a look here. I met with an ELA teacher at Reedley High School just last week, where it says here that we facilitated 2 demo lessons where students reflected on their takeaways from scenes 1 and 2 from Macbeth, and showed them how to safely and effectively prompt Gemini to create infographics in specific styles, such as anime or cartoon, to bring the notes to life. So this is a really cool, fun demo lesson that I'm now remembering that I did about over a week ago, where the kids wrote down on sticky notes their biggest takeaways from the first 2 scenes of Macbeth. And they reflected about it, they talked about it, and then I showed them how to prompt Gemini to turn those thoughts and ideas into infographics in a fun style to bring their notes to life, and it went really well. So I want to make sure this teacher is still thinking about this, and I want to help him reflect on it. So really all I do, I just copy this first little recap here, and then I'm going to head over to Gmail. Now that I have these reflection notes here in Gmail, I'm going to come here and do one of my favorite things to do right here. So I have what a lot of people don't really realize it's there, is the ability to create templates in Gmail. So you may think of those emails you send often, and instead of having to copy and paste it from a doc or rewrite or just type it out every single time, I have it saved as a template. So bottom right corner here in my 3 little dots here, in the menu that pops up, you'll see templates. So I've saved some email templates right here. So I have a template here for the we'll say here the EdTech coaching follow-up. So it populates right here. The subject is follow-up. I come here. I have a placeholder for the teacher's name. So I'll just put teacher. I'm not going to put his name in for privacy purposes. And this would have been on April 20th is when we did this. And what I do, I just paste in all nice and ugly those notes here. So again, I wouldn't send this email here because that's got those ugly notes here. But here's one of the cool things that I have here in Gemini. I'm on a pro account, so it's a little easier for me. But I have right here this little Gemini button right here says help me refine. I simply click polish. And it's going to polish up this email and incorporate those notes in there. And now it looks a lot nicer. Now, if you don't have a pro account like I have, you can simply open Gemini either in a separate tab, or if you have it enabled here on the side, and then you could then take your original email and have it and ask it to polish it here. And you just paste it in. So it's a couple extra clicks. But very quickly, I can then send out this email to that teacher talking about what we discussed that week before, and that helps me. It helps me stay on top of what we do. And I've found since I've implemented this system, I get a lot of calls back from teachers now. Now it makes this coaching more sustainable because they really appreciate me following up with them. And if they tried it, I can come back and help them out, and we can extend the learning. So this is one of the main ways that I use Notebook LM and Gmail together. A lot of synergy here amongst the Google Workspace apps here to help me make my coaching sustainable. So I've been talking for a bit, so we'll go ahead and bring it back. So hopefully you guys found that useful and maybe picked up a few things that you might be able to use in your role.
I like that, Adam. You should write a book about coaching. That's very needed in this world.
That's my wife.
No, that's really good. That's one of the things that I need to get better at is documenting what I've done, because I will forget. Like a teacher will say, "Hey, can you come back into my classroom?" I said, "Have we done this activity?" And they're like, "Yeah, we did that last time." I'm like, dang it. I have to update my notes, and Notebook LM would be perfect. And I was thinking to myself, how would I break it apart? But you're right, per school, right? Per school, and put the teachers in there. And you know what I think was one of the best aha moments during what you were talking about was linking it to a Google Doc in your Drive, because you just continue adding to that doc and then hit update, and it brings it in. And so you almost can have unlimited resources in that hack, even if you only have the plus version versus the pro version, right? You can still make do with 50 sources by just having a single Google Doc for a single teacher. I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to set that up for next year. That's fantastic.
And for organizational purposes on each doc, I make full use of the Google Docs tabs feature. Every teacher has their own tab. So that allows me to really quickly at a glance, click on the teacher's name, update their page, and then boom. And then I sync it, and that really helps. Now, again, I just showed you kind of like the follow-up version, but other things that I do, like if I'm going to be at a school on Monday, as soon as I get there, I go right into Notebook LM, and I ask in the chat, I look at my calendar, when was the last time I was there? I said, okay, give me a recap of what I talked about the last time I was at the school, so I can see who I've worked with, and then I know, okay, I've worked with these people already. I need to follow up with them, but who haven't I got to? Who do I need to check in with? And that really helps. I'm going to go back and share one more thing here real quick. Actually, I just did this before I left work today. But again, this is another way that Notebook LM really helps me make visualizations. Let's see, is it going? All right. Let's see. All right. We see. All right, here we go. So when I leave a site, before I do, I want to leave like a recap of what I did. And I can write a big old long email, but who wants to look at a big old long email at the end of the day? I want something eye-popping. So what I do, this is one I just did an hour ago. I was at Naval Valencia Middle School. And before I show you what I made, I'm going to show you the prompt. So this is the prompt that I use here to create the infographic. It says the recap of EdTech coaching at Naval Valencia Middle School on May 1st, 2026 in the style of a Patriots school mascot that is based on the logo seen in the Naval Valencia Middle School notes document. Don't use teacher names, just grade levels or roles. So what that does, I use that prompt, and it searches just my document here for Naval Valencia Middle School, and it knows, I know that I have the logo on there, so it'll kind of brand it for me. So this is in the email that I send, I have a template for it, but then I'll add this image as a recap of what we went over that day. So this is actually what I did today. And when I leave the school, this is kind of like my parting gift before I leave for the day. It makes this nice little infographic that lets everybody know, here's what Adam worked with on our campus. And it's much more fun to look at than a boring email. So this gets embedded right there, and they can see it and helps them know what they did, what they missed if we didn't meet, so on and so forth. So I wanted to show that real quick before we move on to the next one.
No, I love it. I love it because I'm already thinking for next year. I definitely want to take some of these strategies to be able to push things out, and then. But what you're also doing, Adam, is not only are you making a great little infographic for your schools to easily see, but you're creating. How did you do that? Can you come in and show me how you did that? Right? You're adding these little breadcrumbs for them to nibble on, but like, ooh, I want some of that, and I love it. Right? I love that. That's fantastic. You know. Are you working like directly with some of the high school kids with Notebook LM, showing them strategies on how to use Notebook LM, kind of the same way, but because visual note taking, what was that? Sketch notes was huge with Sylvia Duckworth back in the day, right? But if students could type their notes and write a Notebook LM, and then after the end of the day, create a visual, right? Right out of Notebook LM, that could be super impactful as well.
Yeah, so that's what I've done I've actually done that with Gemini right now, because we don't have Notebook LM turned on for kids yet, but we do have the basic version of Gemini turned on, where they use the create image feature, and then they can either upload a picture of their notes or type in their notes and create an infographic using that. So we've been doing that, but slowly but surely we're going to layer in Notebook LM with our kids.
That's very good. Very good. I love Notebook LM, and you guys are going to know that because I'm going to show some stuff in Notebook LM as well. Kat, you know this guy. What do you what do you think of what he's doing? What do you think about it?
I love it. This is a great way to when you're coaching, like you said, it's difficult to remember what's happening. So you putting those sources in, I think that's awesome. I was going to say I've actually used Notebook LM all the way down to 4th grade, sending a notebook to students. And at first I thought, I don't know, is this really going to work, right? 4th graders, are they going to be able to interact? They loved the choice of either chatting or what the teacher made in the studio. So there was audio podcasts, there were infographics like Adam showed, all these different ways that they could interact, flashcards, quizzes, all the things. So it is possible to use these tools if your district has it turned on. It's possible to use it with students as well.
Yep.
And what was really great was the teachers didn't have a lot of resources to put into the notebook, but you can search. Google will show you a whole bunch of resources that might be applicable. Just check them first, and that's a great way to go. So I think Notebook LM is super versatile. Great to hear, Joe, that you're going to be showing another use as well.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of presenting at the Kremen School of Education at Fresno State, and I was able to showcase to some of the future teachers of our valley how to use Notebook LM, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, this is transformative!" Right? I'm like, "It's transformative for you because you're learning, but when you go become a teacher, make sure you know it's transformative for your students as well because of that." And so, hopefully, we start seeing more and more uses of those. So let's go ahead and let me show you something, because one of my big things that I've been wanting to do is to showcase to my teachers how they can make their own resources, right? We don't have to be beholden to teachers pay teachers, right? We don't have to be beholden to finding that perfect video on YouTube, or looking for that perfect infographic, or using the slide deck that the textbook company said, hey, it follows along with the text, just use it, but it's boring. We can make anything that we want for our students. Now, if you have Notebook LM turned on for your students, we do in Clovis, we have it turned on for secondary, so 7th through 12th. You, the teacher, can create these sources, and then when you share this notebook, those sources are already made. I do have to say, one issue that we do have with Notebook LM is that it is stuck to a single domain, and we actually have a split domain for students and teachers, so it's very difficult for us to share. We have to use a certain workaround, which is a barrier for some teachers, but when we can get it working, It's fantastic. But we have been sharing in our AIE cohort, which stands for Artificial Intelligence Education Leader. We've been sharing how to create resources for their students. And so one of them, of course, is the audio overview. Now, I think we've shared this before. The audio overview is right up here, up in the upper corner. Now, when you click on the audio overview, if you just click on it, that's like rolling the dice. That's hoping the AI picks out of the text exactly what you want. And I think I skipped what text I brought in. I brought in chapter 13 of our 11th grade history textbook on the age of global exploration. And this is going to cover between the 1500s and the 1800s, of course, the discovering of the new world and discovering new trade routes. This is what's going to be in here. But maybe we want our students to be able to listen to a podcast with that. Well, if you just click on the audio overview, you're giving the AI carte blanche of what to pick from that chapter of what to say. So I always remind our teachers, never give AI the choice. You demand the choice. Don't give AI the choice. And so I always click this arrow so that I can prompt exactly what I want. Now, there are some naysayers out there that are saying prompting isn't practical anymore. Prompting isn't necessary. I will absolutely push back on that 100%. Prompting is what keeps us, the educator, the teacher, the human, in power. And prompting is the power over the AI that we have. So we have to prompt. Prompting is critical thinking. If we don't prompt, we are ending our critical analyzation. And so I come in here and I say exactly what I want. I want it to cover just the discovery of the new world and just the early exploration. I could type that all up right in there for that. Now, I want you to know there is options. There's a deep dive, which is the default option. There's the brief, there's a critique, and there's a debate. I will either pick the deep dive or the brief for my students. Now, let me make sure you understand the difference. I made two of them here. A brief will be brief. It'll be under 5 minutes. It'll give them the gist, but all they can do is click play and listen. If you would like them to interact with the host, that's what this little hand waiver looks like. That's like the student raises their hand during the audio. You have to do the deep dive. It will not appear under a brief. So let me show the audience. If you've never seen this, I created this deep dive and I only wanted to be discussing the discovery of the New World and what happened for exploration and cartography once North America was discovered. So I can click on this little hand right here and I can click play. So I'm going to go ahead and click play.
Imagine risking a 50% chance of dying at sea, sailing literally off the edge of the known map into terrifying uncharted waters.
Oh, yeah. Completely terrifying.
Now, I want you also to understand, notice she says totally. And I made sure it said, make sure you speak in Gen X speak. So it creates the podcast in the language that our students are already speaking. I know it's not academic language, okay, everybody, but the whole purpose of this is for the kids to want to listen to it. All right. So you'll hear the person say, oh, totally. Or I told them to make analogies to what's happening during that time, to what's happening in their real lives, so they can make connections for teens that are living in 2026. And so that's what this podcast
all that
is
just for a ship's cargo hold filled with cinnamon.
Right, which sounds.
But at any moment that I'm confused as the listener, I can raise my hand by clicking the
crazy
join
to
button.
us now.
Exactly. Today it's, oh, hey there, what's up?
Hey, so I really don't understand, like, why was the North American continent, why was that not discovered? I mean, it's huge. How can they not have discovered it in all these years? Can you explain that to me? Why was the New World considered the New World when it's been discovered forever? Can you tell me that?
That is a fantastic question. And you've hit on something really profound right out of the gate.
Yeah, seriously.
So the whole purpose of this is for students to interact with the text, basically interact with the audio. And so the teachers can make this for the students and then push it out via Google Classroom as a Notebook LM attachment. And now the students can interact with exactly the kind of audio the teacher wants them to utilize. So that is fantastic. Now, I do remind my teachers the brief is great for training students for that part of the SBAC or the state test where they have to listen to a 90-second audio and answer questions based off the audio. They can make their own. They don't have to rely on ones that are already pre-made. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing that I showed to my teachers that really blew their minds and like, oh, I want to make more is the infographic, right? Again, you can definitely just click the infographic button and hope the AI does what you want. But I always say, click on that arrow and you tell it what you want. The prompt is the power, right? You can choose the style and everything. You can choose the portrait or the square. But I've been showing my teachers the portrait because it will create a portrait style that they can print as a poster for their class. They can make their own posters of all the different topics or all the different chapters that they're going through. And all you do, again, is hit generate, and it makes for us beautiful infographics. Come on, beautiful. Show up. There it is. Beautiful infographics right here. So that they can then take this to the teacher center or the print shop and then print this and then laminate it, and boom, they have their very own posters. They don't have to go to some website or Amazon or wherever else they're going to make posters. They have those posters.
Right? Joe, I got a good story about that.
Yeah,
about what you're talking about. So I tested it out just for fun one day. I was in a classroom and this teacher had all these great anchor charts all over the classroom that she hand wrote. She did a great job. So I said, you know what? I mean, that had to be a lot of work. So there was one that she was working on. It was just kind of like what she hadn't like stylized it, but she just kind of wrote the text up there. So I took a picture of it, uploaded the picture of that into Notebook LM, did exactly what you're showing right here, and it turned it into something that you would buy online.
Yep.
Just from a picture of something that she wrote on some chart paper. Like, so now I got a lot of teachers who are doing this now where they will just go on to their whiteboard. They'll sketch it out of what they want the information to be, take a picture, have Notebook LM, jazz it up, and they put it into the poster printer in the library, and boom, they have their anchor charts.
They have their own.
Yep.
And you know what I have found? I found that it's empowering to the teachers. They feel in control. They are making it, right? The AI is an assistant, but they are the ones that are saying exactly what they want, the design, the style. I have not tried hand drawing and then making something from it. So I think that would be a fantastic thing to do at a conference. Ooh, that would be a really good one. Have them go around, make their whiteboard posters, take a picture of it, throw it in Notebook LM, and make it boom. Adam, that's the new one we're gonna do. Yep. Right. What chart paper comes alive. Okay, with Notebook LM. I love it. We have teachers doing this right across the valley. So we're doing that. And lastly, remember I was telling you that usually some of these textbooks come with really boring PowerPoints. Hey, just follow the PowerPoint. It follows the book. Well, you don't have to rely on that anymore because you can make a slide deck. But again, please hit that arrow and describe exactly what you want the slide deck to do. So for this, again, I asked them to talk about this exploration, but put it in terms that students in 2026 can understand. And make analogies to things that are discovered now at the same pace of that. And so it did it. It made it here. It made it. And I asked it to talk about kind of like how they use computers or devices. How was traveling like that? And so they put it in terms of new apps and new data. And it was fantastic. And know this, everybody. This was just added a while back. You can now download as a PowerPoint instead of having to download as a PDF and then split those as images and then bring them into Google Slides. You can download as a PowerPoint, upload to your drive, and boom, you have it ready to go. Why it's not a Google Slide export, I don't know. Google doesn't even know. I asked them, why don't you do that? They're like, we don't know. So it should be coming this summer. I hope. Fingers crossed. That's an ISTE announcement. But for now, you got to download it to your computer, then upload it to your drive, and you're good to go.
Now, there is a hack if you really want to, like, hand manipulate and edit these that I've done before, and our friend and colleague Alice Keeler actually just posted about this the other day. I'm glad she did because it reminded me that you can do this. If you were to download this as a PDF,
are you talking about Canva?
Yeah, drop it into Canva.
I was just gonna share that.
Oh, I'm a step ahead of you.
Here. Yeah. So yeah, see, that's why Adam and I are always confused with each other. We don't know. I don't know if I'm Joe or Adam's Joe, because we have the same mind, right? We have the same mind, because you can come up to revise and you can ask for changes per slide. Now, please know, people, don't ask for changes of just one slide, because it'll remake all the slides and it'll take the exact same amount of time to redo all the slides. Go through each one and demand the changes that you want. But if it is still being persnickety, if it's still not making the changes that you want, right, download the slide that's causing you the most problems and upload it to Canva. And when you're coming into Canva, click on the image. Once you've uploaded it and added to your palette, click edit, and then select magic layers. Right? Magic layers is going to scan the entire document for anything that can be manipulated, whether it's an image or text or anything that you want. It's scanning the entire thing. Here it goes, doing its scan, super futuristic. Look at that thing. There we go. Now I can come in now and I can change any of the text and just change that up. I can come in and change this bottom text. Oh, I don't want this to be first. I can just move it and move it around. And now that one is first. I don't like this 1500. Maybe I want it to say 1492. I can come in and change that to 1492, right? Coming on in, right? Boom. Now I have the date that I wanted to put in. It is I can move this guy. I don't like that. It's too, it is pretty cool, right? So app smashing the Google to this, it is really, really cool. And then you just download it and then just upload it as a Google slide, and boom, you're done. Boom, you're done. So if you have not tried Notebook LM, you got to dive in. You got to dive in head first and play around and see what it can do, because it can do plenty. Kat, I have a question for you. Because now that you're at the FCOE, now you're at Fresno County office, is Fresno County looking at doing more AI training for local individuals? And is Fresno County thinking about bringing local experts to do these presentations? Because local is better, right, Adam? We don't need some outside of the valley people coming in when we have experts like this to do that training, right?
No, absolutely. We definitely, we've got our AI leaders network and our AI teacher network that we're going to expand both of those in the fall. And we need to hear from our locals for sure. There's so many great teachers, educators, coaches doing such amazing things. Absolutely. That's something we want to expand. So definitely keep an eye out for that. That will be coming. I wanted to build upon something that you said though, Joe, because you talked about how you want to make sure when we're talking about using AI that the teachers are doing the critical thinking, that the teachers are the ones prompting, and the prompting is really important. And so I wanted to talk about how many times we hear people that say, well, the teachers are just having AI make that for them. Oh, they're not thinking anymore. Just like we hear about students. But when you put that teacher in the driver's seat, I'm tired of hearing teacher, human in the loop. I think the human needs to be in the driver's seat. When you're prompting, you're in the driver's seat and you're saying, AI, I'm in charge. I'm going to tell you what I want, right? And so I think that was really poignant, how you talked about prompting. And something that we need to remember is that, hey, you're a teacher, you're a professional, you're the one in control. Yep. You're telling AI what you want. You're not letting AI be the one to dictate all of that.
Prompting is power. We always, and I tell students this, AI is not smart, right? AI is not smart. AI is a generic machine. It produces generic work when left to its own devices, literally. It is you that has to critically analyze, what do I need the AI to help me with? Why do I need AI to help me? What specifically do I need the help with the most? And how am I going to ask it for that help using my pedagogical vernacular to hone in on exactly what I want, right? When we stop thinking like that, when we say, oh, I'm just going to ask AI a question and see where it goes, we lose a little bit of that power. We are no longer in the driver's seat. We're more like ordering an Uber. Right? You may tell him to go left or right, but you're not doing the driving. You're not making the decision. So we need to keep that power in check. And prompting is that power, right? So again, anybody who says prompting is no longer necessary, I don't want to listen to them. Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. And I love, Kat, that you're saying FCOE is looking to do more local because, I mean, shoot, not only does the Valley grow 25% of all the food in this nation, we are driving the innovation. I mean, you name some names of people here in the Valley, they are nationally recognized. And if we're not utilizing those names here, shame on us, right? Shame on us. Adam, you wanted to do something else that was cool, a little bonus for the group. And we're going to do this bonus in Google Vids. I think maybe we'll do a deeper dive into Google Vids on another cast. But here it is, Google Vids, especially in the Google Education platform, because you have two new features that were added for you about 3 months ago. You have VO, and music was just added. Adam, when was music added? Or the ability to make your own music? When was that added?
It happened this spring.
Yeah.
It was sometime this spring where it popped up. I'm like, at first I didn't know what to make of it, and then I started doing it, and now I can't stop. I was just with a librarian last week, and I heard her talking about reminding kids of what the rules are in the library. So she was like reading off this list to him, like, hey, you're not doing X, Y, and Z. So I kind of listened in, I memorized what she said, and I wrote a folk ballad about those rules. And I played it for her. She's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! We can play this." Now she's making songs all the time, so it's like it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to do. I even make it for my own kids now.
No, it's no. I have to be honest. I still think Suno was better. I still think Suno is the superior music generator, but Google has upped its game. I have to say. I actually just made one for in here, and we're not going to listen to it. Adam's going to make his own, but I made one for sixth graders moving on to seventh grade, like they're graduating, and it's a whole thing, but it's in the style of 1980s arena rock journey inspired. So it's really. I was like, oh, that's really good. They upped their game. But here we're going to play a little game here, Adam. I'm going to make a video with VO, and then you're going to create a song for it. Okay. So I'm going to make a video. So I'm going to click VO right here. Unfortunately, it only goes to 8 seconds. 8 seconds, but I actually have a little hack for this, everybody. If you go in to Gemini, and let's say you want a minute-long video, explain it that you're going to be making a video, but you only get 8-second increments. So create a 1 minute video, but break it up into descriptions of what each 8-second video needs to be. And then you can just go boom, 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 boom. And it works pretty good. It works pretty good. But we're just going to do a quick video. I'm going to have this be a video of the world's most distinguished explorers dancing on a stage like the village people. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure I spelled distinguished correctly. Boom, there we go. Now, if you had something you wanted to have it manipulate by itself, you can click add ingredients. If you wanted to incorporate a script with your face that is actually speaking, you can add yourself as an avatar, but I'm just going to have it create from scratch. So I'm going to hit generate. So while this is generating, Adam, can you jump into the music section of there and think about maybe a 30-second ditty? I actually have to change the word from ditty to tune, because I was saying ditty in the class. Like, P Diddy? I'm like, no, never mind. Let's say jingle. Let's say tune. I don't say ditty anymore. Oh, it goes against their asking. Okay, I can't say the village people. Okay, stage like a group doing a team dance in unison. Okay, let me try that. Google is very good with their copyright. You know, they don't want you to make village people. Okay, so a video of the world's most distinguished explorers dancing on a stage like a group doing a team dance in unison. Okay, changed up my vocabulary a little bit. Adam is hard at work in the music section. That's right over here. The music tool is called Lyra. He's going to go down there and make it there for us. And what we're going to do is kind of put it together. Okay, we're going to put it together to see if we can create a quick music video with Adam's Lyra and my distinguished explorers, village people type, but non-village people dance going on up there in the corner. Let's see what we can do.
So I already got mine made on my end. So as soon as yours generates, I'm going to add it in there, and it should.
Well, you got the pro account. I just have the plus. All right. Explorers. I'm going to insert it. What I am going to do is I'm going to turn off the audio for this. There we go. So the video has no sound. Now, Adam, can you add in your song or your audio or your portion down
Just-
here?
So the viewers know where to go, and then that way I don't have to share screen. Just click on the music part so they can see where I went to do this.
Okay, so we went to the music right here, and it's going to be here for insert, right?
Yeah. So I haven't put it in yet, but when you click on music right there, that's where just like Joe did with VO, you put your prompt in. I'm looking at my prompt on my end right here, and my prompt was a 70s disco song about exploration and fearlessness. So it's already been made. I'm gonna insert it on my end.
And while he's inserting it, notice you can have it be a 30-second duration or a full song.
All right.
And so we have it here. It's ready to go. Adam, are you ready to see this musical mashup that we have created?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, it says audio is still processing. Hold on. Nope, audio is still processing. We just got to wait. We just got to wait for that audio to finish processing. Oh, I guess the video can actually.
Leaving all my doubts behind. Let the universe align. Spinning on.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. And you can, again, you can come in, add more of these these audios right here. I'm gonna bring this out here to 8 seconds because that's how long it is. There we go. And then I'm gonna bring this guy out to 8 seconds. That's how long it is. Oh. And then I can come in here and just duplicate it. Duplicate scene. Duplicate. And then now, here we go. Here is the world premiere of the disco dance.
Universe align. Spinning on a cosmic sea. This fearless heart is wild and free. Reaching for a distance.
It looks like the beginning to the Peacemaker. Seriously, the Explorer Peacemaker episode. But see how cool it is, and I love that we showed that we're doing this in a distance way, right? Because we can collaborate on this, just like a Google Doc, a Google Slide. Kids can do this together. You can have somebody that's in charge of the video, somebody that's in charge of the audio, somebody that's in charge of static slides, and bring them all into here. And speaking of static slides, one last thing, everybody, before we can leave here, let me show you this ingredient real quick. I can come in here to my pictures. Here is my graphic that I made for the entire chapter of this book. What I want it to do is I want this image comes to life for exploration. And I'm going to hit generate. And so any of the slides that you bring in, you can take over here and make a video for it. You want to know a little secret that we got going on here in Clovis, Adam? We don't like all of the pre-made digital citizenship or AI literacy lessons that are out there. We like the content, but we don't like the way it looks, right? Because especially for our secondary students, because our secondary students need a little bit more to grip them. And so I want to show you what we made, and I think it's pretty cool. So we put in our slide deck for our digital citizenship into Notebook LM. and we went to create a slide deck, and we really detailedly said exactly what we want changed and what we want kept. And so here's one called Be a Super Digital Citizen. And what we did was we took the static slide deck and made it. And then we had the voiceover happen for it. But then we brought in individual slides to be brought to life. And so this is what our new Be a Digital Super Citizen looks like for our students.
Welcome to the Superhero Training Academy. Get ready to become a super digital citizen.
Let's go!
Today, you will become.
So we did that for each one. We did that. We flew it away, made it all good. And the kids have been loving it. I made one over here like about data privacy called the Privacy Busters, right? And so it's almost like the Ghostbusters, but not enough to be copyright infringible.
Welcome to the Privacy Busters, Episode 4, The Overshare Spectre. We're here to help you understand what information is safe to share online and what you should keep private.
I think I found it.
Over there.
So it is just so fun, and the spark that it's brought to our TOSA team, our EdTech TOSA team, when we saw this, they got giddy, like they had just opened up a Christmas present. It was so cool. Now I know everybody, this is a lot of stuff, but we just wanted to bring as many new things that Google is doing and what we are doing in the Valley, because if we can do it, you can do it, right? There's nothing that makes us special. We're educators, so I guess that does make us special. But it's just finding the things and the joy in making the things, and Notebook LM brings that joy back. Google Vids is bringing that back. And I love chatting with you, Adam and Kat, because I get new ideas every day, right? We need to keep these conversations going, because this is what percolates the innovation, the excitement back in the Valley. It's us and connecting. And so we're hoping, everybody, that this Central Valley GEG is that connector for you. We're hoping that, this is something that we can start up and create a movement to showcase for everybody that, the Central Valley is known for greatness, not just for food, but for innovation. And, we're here to help. We're here for you to lean on, and we're here to continually show you the new things in Google. Adam, any final words?
You know what? Just keep your eyes open on this GG Central Valley, our Facebook page, because the next time Joe and I go out doing golf, which stands for Unlimited Mulligans, we are going to do a quick little 30-second tip on each green. So once we finally get the ball into the little tin cup, then we're going to get, it might take a while for us, but then we're going to give a little tech tip. So anybody who would like to join us, I'll put some announcements out there once we finally set a time to go ahead and join us. We can all suck at golf together.
Yes. The key is that no pressure, because nobody can be worse than me. So Kat, any final words for the GEG audience?
No, I just want to echo something I heard, that the Valley is full of innovators, and we've got other innovators in this. When I say innovators, yes, there's Google innovators, but there's also just any educator who's doing something different is considered an innovator. And so we would love to hear from you. So definitely connect. And we'd love to hear everybody else's stories and all that they're doing in their classrooms as well.
Yes. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate every single thing that you do day in and day out with your students and your teachers. We just want everybody to remember that only you can grow your greatness, but together we can grow the Valley. Thanks, everybody. We will see you later.
For your greatness, innovate, celebrate, activate your greatness. Central Valley GEG.